our feature presentation.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Focus Testing, a show where we improvise movies. My name is Tristan Miller. I'm a comedian, they say. And joining me today, as sometimes, is...
Scott and Interrante.
What do you do, Scott?
Well, I guess I'm a musician. I'm a podcast host. I host a show called This is the Greatest Song I've Ever Heard in My Entire Life.
Are you ever going to interview yourself for that and let the people know?
I think I might. My co-producers and I think we might do something where we talk about our own picks. But I guess relevant to this, I'm a person who watches movies.
Oh my God, you've seen a movie.
I've seen some movies. I have a letterbox.
That's how you know that someone does consume a lot of films. I wish there was a TV version of Letterboxd, right?
Yeah, I think there might be, but that's too much, I think.
I mean, I can understand what you're saying, and it also isn't. It's less prestigious to be like, yeah, I did watch all of Kimmy Schmidt, like, because then you just sound like a loser,
right?
Whereas it's like, oh yeah, I did actually go to see Inland Empire in the restoration, blah, 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 you know, what a long movie.
If nothing else, it's a long one.
That is my official review of Inland Empire. It's long.
Yeah.
So we're hanging out in a beautiful sunny day today.
Yeah, it is.
Drinking a couple cold pops together as just guys being dudes.
Yeah.
But what was the first film you remember seeing?
It's a difficult question because I don't remember, but.
No, hang on. Now here's the thing. I did say remember seeing, so your first memory,
but
not the first one you've been to.
Yeah, I have some flashes of memories. I know that I went to see the Star Wars re-release in theaters with my dad and my brother, which I must have been 3 or 4.
97. So.
Yeah, something so maybe I was a little older, but yeah. I also remember watching Who Framed Roger Rabbit in a limousine for some reason. We had a little TV, and my parents and family friends were going to see, I think, Cats on Broadway. And we went in a limo with, maybe none of this is true, but that's what it is in my brain. And I remember us all the kids fucking loving the opening of that movie which is the cartoon with the baby and they're smashing stuff. And then once it gets to the live action stuff, we did not get it.
Yeah.
We hated it.
It's not a film for kids at all. I saw it when I was younger as well. My uncle was watching it. And it got to the point with Jessica Rabbit, and I was like, is my uncle watching pornography right now?
Yeah.
I was deeply uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So it's also, in my opinion, a terrible film, but
I haven't seen it. I believe people when they say it's groundbreaking technically and all this stuff. I'm sure I think I would like it, but I haven't seen it since then. So
there's one scene worth seeing, I think.
Yeah.
And that's where Mickey and Bugs are together.
Right.
Because this is also a very good joke.
Yeah.
And then there's one other joke that's very good that stands out when it goes, hey, do you know anything about show people? And it's they're no people I know. And that's the funniest the movie gets.
Right.
So you're probably
the first film I remember really loving because at that time in the 90s, my older brother and I, we would just find stuff on TV or whatever. I mean, we did have VHS tapes and stuff, but I remember just watching movies that were played on TV a lot, and one of them was That Thing You Do, which I would still list as my favorite film of all time.
Really?
It's in that number 1 slot on my letterbox.
That's how you know.
But yeah,
isn't that so hard to pick though?
Not for me. I picked it once when I signed up, and I feel good about it, and I haven't changed them.
You know what? And you're probably right to do so.
Do you want all 4 of them?
Yes, please.
We're here, so because I'll never be interviewed on the Letterboxd podcast. So
there's a podcast for Letterboxd.
They have a podcast, yeah.
For the longest time, I said Letterboxd because my ex said it, and I feel a fool.
Yeah, I mean that works too.
I know, but saying it out loud, Letterboxd, it's now whose D is in a letterbox shape?
Yeah. But so I got That Thing You Do. Moonlight.
Great.
Teen Beach Movie.
Okay.
which I'm gonna bully you into seeing one day.
Sure.
And Greta Gerwig, Little Women.
Greta Gerwig's Little Women. I cry every time. Different
Just,
place.
I do just a steady stream. The whole film.
I find that movie so fascinating because people were so like, well, it's just kind of a blah film. I'm like, no, you just don't like women. And number one. Number two, I do cry in a different spot every time, except for the one consistent one is when Chris Cooper is listening to Beth play the piano. And that's like an ugly cry that I have. And it was like, I saw it with my ex and a couple of friends. And I like started to, and my ex was like, what are you doing? I'm like, he misses his kid.
Yeah. Yeah. She's just an incredible director. I mean, because Lady Bird 2, I think, is...
Lady Bird as well, not Lady Bird 2.
Yeah.
This time
Lady Bird 2. Yeah. No, Lady Bird as well. I just think in the writing and the directing, she's so good at just like capturing really tiny moments that like say so much with it, just purely subtextually, like in a scene like that is maybe more like straightforward and not flashy, but it's very on the surface emotional, but like the reason why we cry at different scenes every time is because every single line is filled with so much emotional weight underneath the surface. And she's just so good at like doing that in a way that doesn't feel like overwrought.
Yeah. Which is,
I can't wait for Barbie. I don't know what the fuck she's gonna do,
I'm
but
so stoked. Actually.
Yeah,
it's feminism, is what it is.
Yeah.
Actually, no. But also like it's also funny that she's married to Noah Baumbach, who is like almost I would say the opposite of like everything is so textual because it's just like overlapping dialogue and this and that sort of thing. And I think that's very interesting that like they just could not be more different.
Yeah, and I like his stuff too.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen as much of his. He has a lot, but I mean, Marriage Story I think is great.
Meyerowitz Stories is very good.
Yeah,
very good. So those are your top 4. Do you want to know my top 4?
I do.
Okay, let me see if I can remember them. I think it's definitely Woman Under the Influence. Great film. Again, cry every time, like ugly cry. Try not to cry now. Thinking about it. You ever have a movie where you're just like, oh no, I feel the
oh
knot.
Yeah, if I like replay that last scene in Portrait of a Lady on Fire.
Okay.
Have you seen that one?
I have not seen that film.
Oh, it's so good. But yeah.
Thoroughbreds, a great film.
Great film.
Then also If Beale Street Could Talk.
Yeah.
And then I think I have 1977 Star Wars on that.
Yeah.
Just because I'm like, I want to put it right. I'm going to double check.
We're going to
right
double
now.
check.
Yeah, I gotta, because I don't want to lie on the podcast. That would be the first time that ever happened. Ever. Do you think Letterboxd is a social media app?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. My current favorite after that is Kiki's Delivery Service, which is also very true. And, right. Which leads me, actually, into the trivia section, if you'd like to go into that segment.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I would.
Okay, so the trivia questions are... I'm going to start with... I'm going to start with an easy one, I think. What movie has the best soundtrack?
But there's a correct answer.
Yes.
Okay. Now, do we mean soundtrack, like
Music,
the songs, or the score?
Okay, there's a third soundtrack, which is of course like all the the noise that happens. Right.
But
okay, let's say what film has the best original score?
Best original score. I mean, I have answers of my own, but I'm trying to like answer the way you
don't. There's no correct answer. This is an interview. This is an interview disguised as trivia. We'll get more into it in a little bit, Scott.
Well, I will say, because you just mentioned it, the If Beale Street Could Talk.
So good.
I mean, Nicholas Britell on that and Moonlight is just phenomenal. Another one I was just thinking about again is the Last Black Man in San Francisco score is fantastic. But then of course you've got all the... Okay, actually here's a more fun answer.
Okay.
I've got these two films that have very similar film score moments that I think are just blow me away every time. Okay. And they are films which are very big and action packed and, exciting. And the score is very bombastic throughout. And then there is a moment where the composer decides to have almost no score in a way that is very haunting and creepy.
Yeah.
Okay. And so the first use of this is the Peter Jackson King Kong.
Yes.
Where they fall down into the valley and then there are those creepy wormy bug things.
Can I tell you, that guy getting eaten by a cricket gave me nightmares.
And I think
Andy Serkis getting eaten by those oh my god, fucked me up for a week.
And I think so much of it is because of that score, which is almost no score. It's like this really quiet, haunting, like it's terrifying.
Yeah. I had forgotten. Thank you for that.
Yeah. There's and so that's James Newton Howard on that. There's a very similar device on the film Pirates 2, Stagnetti's Revenge. This is the pornographic film. It was the highest budget porn film ever made at the time. I think maybe still.
Who's doing it bigger than Pirates 2?
At that time, you can't do it that big anymore. That was the DVD boom, and we don't live in that world anymore.
Rip.
But anyway, in Pirates 2, Stagnetti's Revenge, there's a scene where the villain, Stagnetti, is having this sex scene with these two pirate women, and it's because of the sort of it's kind of a rape scene. They are his prisoners, if I remember correctly.
Unfortunate. You want to see better from Pirates 2.
From Stagnetti's Revenge, yeah. But so the choice that I don't know if it's all original score or if it's probably library music, but the choice that they make is to have an extremely unsettling, haunting, like quiet choir score while they're fucking, and it's not sexy at all, and it's this moment where the filmmakers put like the storytelling above the fucking, and it's incredible.
The one time it's ever happened.
There's some very good porn out there, but
sorry, can you say that again?
There's some very good made with integrity and storytelling. And
speaking of there's a great podcast I listen to called The Worst Idea of All Time, and they are going through the Emmanuelle series, which is a famous softcore pornography series, which I've never seen, but hearing two people review porn you have not seen, fantastic. Cannot recommend it enough.
My friend Kevin and I were talking about maybe doing like a review, like softcore, like Cinemax era softcore porn review podcast, which I think would be fun. But
it is very fun and very funny, because also like they also review other shows, for that. So they take all the baggage of like, okay, well, we have to meet this thing where it's at.
Yeah.
And they do have a bit called Boner Inspector, which is like, did you get a hard-on? And the answer so far, from what I've listened to, is not at all.
It's really contextual. If you're not bringing that energy to it, then it's not gonna. Yeah.
There are times where you can. What's also unfortunate is like you can get aroused watching a normal movie. There's nothing more embarrassing than watching Kenneth Branagh's Death on the Nile and getting horny, because that film is so horny. And I did not get horny at Gal or Army. It was cannot remember the woman's name. That's the other lead, but she's also in the Barbie movie, and I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, I haven't seen the Death on the Nile or the other one.
Don't watch Death on the Nile. It's not worth your time. Murder in the Orient Express is pretty fun, but it takes a lot of liberties. So we talked about score. What about soundtrack?
Well, yeah, so that's the other thing is in terms of soundtrack. Obviously, I love the songs on That Thing You Do.
Yes.
The songs on Josie and the Pussycats is also
a film I've not seen, but I need to.
It's tough because there are. I feel like I want to just eliminate like musical movies because there's it's sort of a different thing. Although I will say the production on the soundtrack for the Steven Spielberg West Side Story that came out last year, it's just some of the best. It's so good. It's phenomenal film. Great soundtrack. But in terms of like soundtrack, the thing that always pops into my head for some reason as like the definitive soundtrack, just because of my age, is Space Jam.
It's got bops.
It's got bops. Got bops and bangers. I think the first CD I ever bought was the Rugrats movie soundtrack CD. So
when you get to I Throw My Toys Around, everyone fucking cries. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, damn, I do remember not getting what I want as a kid.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. So.
Next trivia question.
Oh, okay.
What movie, we briefly talked about this before, what movie makes you horniest?
Oh.
Again, it's a movie.
Yeah, absolutely. And okay, if you want to draw that line between porns and movies.
Not porns. You can't say
I think that in a weird way, Shape of Water is the sexiest movie I've ever seen.
It's so horny.
Sally Hawkins is so sexy. Mm-hmm. And in that film, yeah, I mean, I'm not saying like I want to fuck a fish guy, but I'm saying that the way it's like, it's a horny movie, and she is so hot in that movie, and like I could say, okay, Match Point, right? The Woody Allen, Scarlett Johansson movie.
Cannot imagine being horny around Woody Allen at all.
I know. He's not in it though.
Oh, thank God.
He's not in it. It's like her and Jonathan Rhys-Meyers and.
Oh, those are two very hot people at that time that they would have been in a film
absolutely.
Together.
It was. That's an extremely horny, sexy movie. But yeah, I think Shape of Water.
I can agree with you. Now I have a follow-up question.
Yeah.
Would you fuck the fish man if you could? Like, if presented the opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would too, because you have to, right?
You have to.
Right? Because just for the story alone. Yeah. Like, you have to do it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Very good answer, by the way.
Thank you.
Very horny film. Beautiful picture, except for when Michael Shannon's fucking his wife and has that rotten finger.
Oh, I forgot about that.
And he's just fucking her so hard and puts his hand over his mouth so she's mute. Oh, it's awful.
That is like unsettling.
It's also so jarring because the rest of it is so beautiful and horny, and then you get to that scene and you're just like, man should go away.
Yeah.
All of humanity should stop. What Star Wars character do you want them to never make a Disney Plus series about? If you do, you'll scream.
Okay.
See, I ask these questions because I have opinions about this, but I'm trying to be an actor, so I ask them of other people, and I'm like, ooh.
I have so many that I want them to make. Like, I would love to see more Sebulba.
What about this RuPaul's Pod Race?
Yeah, that's something. Is this anything?
Is this anything? That's certainly.
RuPaul's Pod Race. Yeah. I think I wouldn't
to go tweet about something completely different than what we're talking about.
I think I don't need any C-3PO content. We have so much C-3PO, and I think if they try to do a series, because he's, he and R2 were there the whole time, and there's so many stories to tell, and they've seen so many things, but do I want to watch that? No.
I have bad news for you, my friend.
Okay.
There's a cartoon series from the 80s called Droids, where it's just R2 and 3PO getting into trouble. So you're right. Disney Plus shouldn't make it because it's already done.
Did that. Yeah.
What one would you want the most of besides Sebulba?
Yeah, Sebulba came to mind first. I think.
Sorry, I was talking to my mom about Boba Fett, the Book of Boba Fett, and the fact that Mando and Grogu show up. It's like, and the analogy, because we're both now like, we'll see about this fucking Obi-Wan show.
Right.
It's like, imagine having 6 episodes dedicated to Kenobi, and 2 of them are about Watto. And that's what it felt like.
Right.
To me, personally.
I think this is not necessarily like a specific character, but I would love to see a full series about like the creation of the new Galactic Senate that we see for about 2 minutes in The Force Awakens, and then they get blown up. And to me, I think that's an interesting story of like, okay, we're, all the events that happened in the original trilogy, and then these, disparate people are are trying to rally themselves together, restart this new galactic senate with the First Order, Spectre looming large, all this kind of stuff. I think that's an interesting story that we don't get any of.
Absolutely dick.
I'm sure there are books. I could read a book.
There are a fair amount of books, but even those books, not a lot flushed out.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like... we can't get too deep in the weeds here. Otherwise, this isn't a Star Wars podcast. Who was your first character crush? And why?
Okay.
No, just who was your first...
I think the answer is Jennifer Love Pfefferman, who is Jennifer Love Hewitt's cameo on the Halloween episode of Boy Meets World.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Yes. Is that the one where it's kind of like a murder mystery?
It is.
We reviewed that for Amateur Detective Club, and
right.
yeah, I can understand why that would be
I believe that was maybe the first time I saw her, because I think I definitely saw I Know What You Did Last Summer, but it may have been after that, because I was young at the time. But yeah, in general, the answer is Jennifer Love Hewitt. In that, in I Know You Did Last Summer. Do you remember the movie House Arrest? No.
I'm having like a
so the teens
conniption.
Lock their parents in the basement because for some reason tell them to get along with each other because they're fighting. Jennifer Love Hewitt's there. Great film.
Okay.
But the answer is really Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Okay. What actor mind do you want to go down on most?
Do I want to go down on the most?
Yeah. What actor mind? Not character. What actor?
Actor.
Yeah. And it cannot be me.
Okay. My biggest celebrity crush is Milana Weintraub.
Now, here's the thing. Is that the person you want to go down on the most?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know who that person is.
She's an actress, a comedian. She's the AT&T spokeswoman.
Oh, yes. I'm aware of... Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm aware of this woman now that you remind. She's in a couple episodes of... what is it?
She's in a couple of episodes of This Is Us.
The comedy web series.
Oh, they did the Other Space.
No,
she's on.
This is such
Paul
bad.
Feig show.
This is such bad content. No, this is like from College Humor. Amir,
oh yeah,
Jake
yeah,
and
yeah.
Amir.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's very good in those. She's very.
Oh
funny.
yeah, back around that time, her and her old comedy partner had a web series called Live Prude Girls on YouTube, which is all still on YouTube, which is all great. Sketch comedy stuff and like awkward interview kind of things.
See, now here's the thing. I'm just close enough to that, like actually meeting this person, that now I feel uncomfortable.
Well, look, she's married. She's got a kid. I'm not going to go down on her, but she's...
But you want to.
But she's my biggest celebrity crush. She's also,
Also, calling her a celebrity is very nice of you.
She is a celebrity to me.
Yeah, that's beautiful in a way. Because most people are like, oh yeah, the AT&T girl. And that's it. That's as far as it goes.
No, yeah. I read a book about her. This is a whole other podcast.
Okay, so next question is, again on the category of horny, what movie monster would you want to fuck the most? Besides the Fishman.
Besides the Fishman. Movie monster. This is so... I have not put any thought into...
First, just gut instinct. Movie monster, you want to have sex. Or you would have sex. You'd be willing to.
All the things I'm thinking about are like from Buffy, which is not a movie, but it's a TV show, and I'm going to just take liberties on it. I can't even think of something specifically.
Like, you don't want to fuck Mothra?
Yeah, I guess.
I could fuck Mothra,
I could fuck Mothra.
All right.
I'm going to keep thinking about it and come back to it.
Which actor do you think you could take in a fight?
Jacob Tremblay.
Who is he again?
He's the kid. He's in the room with... Or not the room. He's in Room with Brie Larson. He's in that movie Good Boys. He's 12.
Oh, okay.
And I hate his fucking little face. And I do think I could take him.
Okay. Okay. All right. You heard it here, folks. Scott wants to assault a minor.
Yeah, I do.
Jeez Christ. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I feel very Z-Way right now.
Yeah, no. I'll talk about that all day.
What actor would you try to steal a car from?
Would I try to steal a car from? Do you remember like that episode of Punk'd where Frankie Muniz gets his like they pretend like they're fucking with Frankie Muniz's car and he loses his goddamn mind?
Yeah.
Not him. He got really angry and I'm not going to do that. But I feel like you gotta go big and it's gotta be a Jerry Seinfeld car, right? Because he's the car guy.
Yeah. I had another person on recently, and Jay Leno also came up. But
right.
yeah, Jerry Seinfeld's a very good.
Yeah.
Because Jay Leno's not like a actor; he's a personality. Whereas
Yeah,
Jerry's
but that
like,
counts. Yeah.
Jerry's been in B-movie. He's been in stuff, which is, by the way, weirdly a good movie.
Is it?
It's very entertaining.
I just remember watching it and feeling like thinking that I may have fallen asleep because the plot jumps. There's like a full half hour missing out of the middle of that movie.
It feels like a fever dream.
It ends. Somehow we're in a courtroom and like I don't know what happened.
You're not a good fella. You're a bad fella. Yeah, it's iconic. I recently discovered that a bunch of people that are like 3 years younger than me are obsessed with Hoodwinked, that animated feature, because it was like part of their childhood. Whereas
that missed me.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, oh, I thought it was a garbage movie because I was too old for it. But like, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Y'all love Hoodwinked?
Yeah, good for them.
Yeah, I'm like, more power. The kids are all right, actually. Turns out, how many slaps in the face would you take to be in an A24 film?
Any other information on the film?
No. It's by A24, you are the lead.
Who's slapping me?
It can't be someone you want to get slapped by. That's the only caveat.
I don't know. I feel like once you start getting slapped, you just keep going, right?
Yeah, I can do this all day.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd take 25 slaps.
Can I tell you that is the most common answer, is 25.
Really?
25 slaps. There's something about 25 slaps that's...
Yeah.
Someone said 1 slap every day for the rest of my life.
Sure.
And I was like, I think I would be able to do that too if it meant
But see, here's the thing, because like A24 put out that movie First Cow, and
great film.
I never saw it because I'm convinced it wasn't a movie, it was a test. It was A24 testing out our loyalty. They're like, we're gonna make the most boring fucking movie, and all these hipsters are gonna go see it. This movie is about a cow, the first cow, and you fuckers are gonna watch it.
And they did.
And they did, and I didn't. I said absolutely not. Oh, they're making cookies out of that milk? Fuck that cow.
You heard it here, folks. Scott Interrante wants to assault a minor, a specific one,
Yeah.
and also fuck a cow.
Yep.
Now, also, final question. Now, this is the one I always ask. Much like, if there's a heaven, what do you want God to say?
Right.
Like from Bernard Pivot. Why is Austin Powers so sexy?
Austin Powers is sexy because he has a confidence to him that, in addition to his modest looks,
shall we say,
modest looks often create a sense of like security. It's like this person's not very threatening to me or intimidating, right? But of course, a lot of people have modest looks, but it's the modest looks combined with that charisma that's just like, oh, this, he's funny, he's charming, he doesn't look like he's gonna, assault me or eat me.
It's not Armie Hammer.
That's very sexy.
Okay. I think that's a very well thought out response.
Thanks.
So now we get to the game portion.
Yeah.
You look like you had a question.
Well, I had something I was going to say just
go for
about my philosophy of what I think movies should be, but maybe
go for
maybe
it.
this should come after we pick a word and we start brainstorming.
Sure, yeah. If you think it's pertinent, what you think about movies would be pertinent to making a movie with me. I don't know why I'm such a bitch on this program. So the random word. Oh, for those, if this is your first episode, we're going to improvise the concept of a film based off of a random word, after which we will then do a lightning round where we get 2 sentences to pitch a film based off of the word. Okay, so the random word is, if I can get it to fucking reload. Oh my god.
What app are we using here?
I'm using randomwordgenerator.com.
Okay.
I can't be bothered to get an app on my iPad.
I don't know.
What is this, an iPhone? An
don't
app? And it's not loading. This is so embarrassing. I swear this never happens. So the one that just came up earlier that I did see, it's Constellation. So let's just go with that one.
Sure.
Okay, so what's the movie about Constellation? What can you give me there,
Okay.
Scott?
How like log line are we doing this? So do I have a character, just a general premise?
A general premise, and then we build from there.
Okay. I think maybe it's something like.
Can I tell you, it just reloaded and it was soap, so thank God it wasn't soap.
No, Constellation is good. A kid, idolizes his father or mother, who is some sort of star person.
Like K-Pax?
Maybe. I think the child might think that they're just like a normal astronaut, but maybe we learn later that that's not the case.
Like Captain Marvel.
Sure, yeah. They have a particular constellation that they always look at. That's like their star. Mm-hmm. Their set of stars. And then there's a tragic accident, blah, blah, blah. The parents die, the kid grows up, and takes some sort of ship up to that constellation and learn something about themselves and their parents and life.
And that boy's name is Elon Musk. Okay, yeah, I like that. Very, very solid outline. So what's...
I don't know.
I think it's a solid outline, and we can build on it. Don't sell yourself short, okay. Rome wasn't built ever.
In a podcast.
Yeah. Rome wasn't built in a podcast. Athens was. They wouldn't shut up. That was their problem. So I like the constellation, and like that's very sweet, and that's all very like almost like first 20 minutes, right, and then the accent has to happen. It's kind of it feels a little interstellar, right, but also not,
which I've never seen. So
oh well, see, that's very cool that you've never seen it and still ripped it off a little bit. That happens all the time. People need to calm down about that kind of thing. There's only so many synapses to be had.
Yeah.
But I also had a scene that I don't know exactly how it would fit in, of like this idea that like this is my set of stars, right? And then the kid is like 8 and he says to a classmate, he's like, that's mine. And then the other kid is like, no, that's mine, and he beats the shit out of that kid.
Yes, I do like that. Like when you buy a star,
that's funny.
Maybe his parents buy him this constellation, and then that becomes that's a funnier idea.
That is a funnier idea. And so it's it's one person's quest to get to the star.
Right, to say, no, I do own this.
To plant a flag. Perfect, we got it. Okay, so, obviously, in my mind, like, the twist is they get up there, and then it's like the Truman Show.
Right.
Or they get to the star, and then they just come back down, and it's Earth. And they're like, whoa man. Exactly. So who do we want to play this person?
Well, now I think there's still some questions about
the plot before we get to the cast.
Just at least a little bit,
okay,
because I do think the cast will inform us. But is it something like, and maybe this is too much backstory to have up front, so tell me I'm an idiot. But what if it's something
You're
where
an
like,
idiot. Sorry, you gave me that one.
Or it's something like, what's really going on is like there's some sort of rivalry between the dads. Their neighbors or something, and the one neighbor buys, he buys his kid a star, and then the other neighbor buys his kid that same star, and then the kids are fighting about it, and then they grow up and
one's American and one's Russian.
One's American, one's Russian. They're both racing to get up there. And it's a sort of that kind of a thing.
I like that idea of like it's not even the kid's fault. Like
right.
It's about generational trauma, actually.
Right.
And wealth inequality.
Right. And that would lead me to say, like, is this Will Ferrell, John C. Reilly?
It feels very that, but I feel like having two white guys is a little.
It's 2022.
It's 2022. I feel like.
So it's Tim Robinson and Sam Richardson. We could do that kind of a movie.
Just took everybody to task there, Scott. Part of me is like, can we get Tamia and Tamara Mari back at it? Like,
okay.
And they're like secretly sisters at the end or whatever. Or, okay, what about this? Okay. Kiki Lang.
Okay.
Because she's got Comedy Shop. She was very good in Coming to America. And then... Who is just like the biggest fucking asshole that you've ever seen in your life when you look at him on screen? I have some thoughts, but I'm going to keep them to myself. Who's really... Let's put it this way.
In a fun way?
I suppose in a fun... Because if it's a comedy, it has to be. I think that Tim Robbins should be the dad growing up who's insane. Right. Like, going, no, I bought this star for my kid.
Right.
And then it's Vincent D'Onofrio doing a very similar performance to his Men in Black now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Wow. Well, someone I think is like a good comedic asshole is like an Ike Barinholtz.
Ooh, I know that name. I should really know more actors' names, huh? If I want to be involved.
He's he's one of those guys.
Oh yeah. An asshole.
Yeah. Sure. But like in comedy movies, he's in Blockers.
Okay, sure. I'll believe. No, I haven't. I'll believe you. And
Blockers is great.
Okay,
but
okay. So we have the first act is them getting these stars, the same star. There's a fight because of the dads. Got it. Love it. Stupid. Silly. The second act has to be them. How do they get to the star?
Right. So in this world, is star travel normal and accessible, or what's funny is that both of these people like dedicate their lives to inventing long-range space travel.
There it is. They go to like fucking MIT. They're classmates throughout. We have like a montage of them being angry with each other this whole time. And so it comes down to this. There's a government grant for one. And then I personally feel like, it's a very fierce competition. And it feels like, what's his name, Ivan? Is that
Ike?
Ike, thank you. It's like, fucking whatever. I'm going to look him up, and I'm going to have to apologize formally for this.
Yeah, that's okay.
Ike is going to get it. And we're all like, oh, no, but we love Kiki Lang. And her father, Tim Robbins, which is very interesting and progressive.
Tim Robinson, not Tim Robbins.
Oh, Tim Robbins, yeah.
Although it could be Tim Robbins.
Yeah. I prefer the non-mistake I made, Tim Robinson. Right. Oh no, we love them so much. And then it looks like he's gonna like be the bigger person and like let them take it.
But
and
of course not.
Of course not, of course.
But then, some mysterious funding shows up from the Russians or someone,
Yeah, I like that. Alternatively, he gets his rocket made and he blows up and he dies.
Oh no!
He's just gone. He's just completely obliterated. And then the government official, played by Bradley Whitford, turns to Kiki like, well, and then it just cuts to her in space.
Right. And this is no longer a movie about who can get there first.
But that ruins the plot. But it's
I don't know.
very
It is funny.
It's very funny. Okay, so now that she's going to space, then
Right.
so third act that's the third act twist, and so the rest is her going to space. What does she encounter when she's in the space?
Right.
What do we think?
Well, did you see Ad Astra?
I did not. I heard it was good.
I don't know who told you that, but
The same ex that was like, "Why are you crying at Little Women?"
Yeah,
So-
no, this movie was not very good. But there's a sequence where the Brad Pitt spaceship is on its mission, and they receive like a distress signal from another ship, and they go to save some people on the ship or whatever, and there's a baboon that has killed everyone on that ship, a space baboon. And
like a baboon from space, or
no,
like,
I think it was a
from
baboon
Earth that was
from Earth that, yeah.
Like, what is that fucking movie? Like Shaka?
I
Oh,
don't
you
know.
don't know this terrible film. It's fine.
No.
It's like a very low budget horror film where
Okay.
a baboon gets loose and kills everyone.
Yeah, it's like that. But then the baboon's on their ship and
Oh my
kills
God.
a bunch of people.
Okay.
So maybe something like that.
Okay, let me say this. Distress signal, yes, goes. And then it's Brad Pitt from
Ad
Ad
Astra.
Astra who tries to kill Kiki Lang. And then,
Right.
of course, she has to kill Brad Pitt in like
Right.
some sort of violent altercation.
Yeah.
So that's exciting.
I do I just want to say,
Yeah.
I just want it to be on record
Mm-hmm.
because this is being recorded.
Yeah, record.
I love Brad Pitt.
Okay.
Phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Everything he does, I think is great.
It is on the record.
Okay, thanks.
So having him have a cameo would be very fun,
Yeah.
unexpectedly. And then, but how does it end? What's the conclusion to this exciting?
So she's got
adventure?
to get to the star.
What happens there? Like
Maybe nothing.
maybe not. It's just dissatisfying. What is this? A
Maybe,
French movie?
Yeah, maybe there's no planets. There's
Oh, it's so sad. Oh, that's so sad.
It's about the hubris of the human spirit.
Oh my god, I love it. That's so sad and good. It's just like, and it just like, she just is looking out through the viewport, and it's just like a slow pan across, just with
Yeah.
"We'll meet again, don't know where, don't," and then it fades out.
Yeah. And it's called like "Reach for the Stars" or something, you know. It's like the phrase is "Reach for the stars. If we miss, you'll end up," or
Shoot for
or
the-
shoot for the moon. If you miss, you'll end up amongst the stars.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. Actually, take back everything
Okay,
I say.
okay.
I got it wrong.
Okay, that's fine. No worries. Film title for this. Yeah, I don't know. The temptation to wish upon a star is very,
Right.
very copyrightable, though.
Right. For some reason in my head, I've been picturing like, you know how NASA will name stars and it's all like X-2136945
Oh.
or whatever, right? It's just that. It's just the name of the
Perfect.
star.
Love it. Tells you nothing about the film.
Exactly.
Nothing about the tone. Nothing about anything that goes on. Perfect.
No one will remember how to say it. Yeah.
Like Elon Musk's kid.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. It just looks like a capucha. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. A capucha monkey, is that anything? It's just a monkey that proves you're not a robot.
Yeah.
I like it. A+. Do we have a director in mind?
Well, so here's what I wanted to get back to about my vision for something I've
Perfect.
been thinking about with films lately. You know, because we're in this whole COVID thing, you know, I don't know if
What?
you've heard about it.
Oh, you mean that hoax?
And because of that, you know, people go to the movies or have been going to the movies less, and now people are going back. And I've been going to see movies a lot again, and it makes me like, I love a lot of different kinds of movies. I love quiet. You know, I listed Moonlight on my top films. I love a lot of kinds of movies, but like, if I go to a fucking theater, I want a movie.
Yeah.
You know, and like, I went to go see Ambulance, Michael Bay film. Fucking phenomenal.
You keep talking about this movie, and
The reason I keep talking about it is so I was talking to someone and I said, you know, sometimes movies don't need to be the best; they need to be the most. And Michael Bay understands that, and Ambulance is the most.
It's certainly, he does put the most in all of his films.
And so, like, what I've been thinking about is I love, like, well choreographed action sequences, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whether that's car chase or fight scene or something, right? And the same things that I love about, like, a well choreographed fight scene from, like, you know, like the long tracking shot fight scene in Daredevil, the Netflix show, or like something from like The Raid, or like an amazing like Jackie Chan fight sequence, right? The same things I love about that are the same things I love about like a Gene Kelly dance number, right?
Yeah.
It's like the inventiveness of the choreography.
Mm-hmm.
So what I want it to be everything. I want a movie that's got fight scenes, chase scenes, musical numbers.
You know what? Whose filmography you should get into? Rudy Ray Moore.
Okay.
Have you seen Dolomite Is My Name starring Eddie Murphy?
I haven't.
Okay, these Rudy Ray Moore's films are not good.
Okay.
But they have the lines from Dolomite Is My Name is they walk out of a movie, he goes, "Shit, man, that movie had nothing. No titties, no kung fu, no action."
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
No funny. So he says, no funny, no titties, no kung fu. And I'm like, that is what we want in all our movies.
That's what I want. I want titties. I want action. I want funny. I want kung fu. Absolutely.
Okay.
I was telling this to my coworker the other day, and she said, and this is funny because you brought it up earlier. She said, "Isn't that just Austin Powers?"
Yeah.
And you know what? She's fucking right.
It is.
Austin Powers is the ideal film.
It kind of is, though, is the thing.
It's got funny. It's got dancing. It's got action.
Those opening sequences are so good.
Yeah.
And the only problem with that first one is that Will Ferrell is in brownface, but it goes away right away.
Yeah.
It goes away right away, thank God, but like it's still not great. But yeah, I agree with you. I think when I go to the cinema, I want either like a huge spectacle or something that is so intricate that I need to be able to focus on it and have to put away my phone.
Right.
Like, I would love to go see Green Knight in the theater because I would have, like, I've seen it. I have a projector, I'm lucky. But, like, being forced to take in everything would be good.
Yeah.
Conversely, though, like, I'm not gonna, you know, I did watch Captain Marvel on my projector. I'm like, this would have fucking ruled in a movie theater.
Yeah.
This would have been great. But yeah, I agree. I feel like currently there is so much pressure for films to be incredible all the time.
Right.
Whereas sometimes it's just a fucking movie and it's a thing to do for 2 hours.
Yeah, and this is what's, annoying too. But we kind of talk about this on the Randy Newman podcast sometimes. It's like, people have gotten so obsessed with like the Wikipedia summary of something is the value of it, right? Yeah. It's like, only caring about the plot events of a movie. Like, that's not what a movie is. Read a book, if that's, or like watch a movie is, I'm watching stuff, and like, I'm
watching here.
And I feel like people get into even like some weird, like puritanical stuff where it's like, does this sex scene really necessary? You know what? Sometimes we like to see boobs.
Yep. Also,
sometimes movies are horny, and like that's fun because human beings are horny too.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to serve the plot.
That's also something that does. I'm like, yeah, because sometimes people have sex. Do you know this? Yeah. Like, adults have sex, and sometimes movies are about adults, and so it happens.
And sometimes I just want some fucking explosions.
Yeah, I want some explosion. I want funny. I want kung fu, and I want titties. Like, I think, honestly, I agree with at least the very heart of what you're saying. Maybe not the example of a Michael Bay film. But, yes, I do very much agree that it should be, it's inherently a visual medium. It's inherently, sometimes also, a movie can be just vibes.
Yeah.
I fucking love David Lynch's shit. And half of Twin Peaks, just vibes.
Right.
Not a lot going on, and that bothers people, so they try and make shit up for it. But I'm like, it's just people hanging out.
It's just vibes. Yeah.
Yeah. So
do you want, film.
I won't agree to have Michael Bay direct this picture, though.
That's fair.
I'm sorry. I can't do that.
Is there somewhere where we can throw in a musical number?
Yeah. Yeah, she gets bored on her way to the thing, and she dances with herself.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
two Billy Idols. Dancing but with myself. That song?
White Wedding? That's the only Billy Idol song I know.
Really? You don't know Dancing with Myself?
I don't think I do.
It's such a good song. You would love it.
Okay.
I'm so confused. I thought you were like having a bit of a laugh at my expense.
It's a nice day for a white wedding. That's Billy Idol.
That is Billy Idol. That's also a different song.
That's the only one I know.
Oh my God. You were
it's
missing
in
out.
Wedding Singer. That's my only reference point for Billy Idol.
That is fascinating.
Yeah.
And you call yourself a musician.
Some things I missed and...
Okay, fine. Maybe not that song. What song would you dance by yourself to then?
I think, what song would she dance by herself to, you know?
Sure.
I don't know. I think something that's coming to my mind, and this isn't what it would be.
Okay.
But I just have to say it because it's what's on my mind.
Okay, I respect
and
that.
we didn't pre-plan this.
Yeah, this is improvised stuff.
There's a disco dance remix of If You Seek Amy by Britney Spears.
Do not know the original, do not know this remix.
It's a dance pop song from Blackout era Britney. Or maybe, is it on Circus? That's embarrassing, I should know. But it's on one of those albums. And it's this sort of like, you know, synth pop dance thing where she says all the boys and all the girls are begging to if you seek Amy, which is F-U-C-K me, right?
Oh, I see. Yes, I have heard this song now.
But there's this by this producer U-Turn, this like official remix that's like this full disco song that came out like at the beginning, like way before Bruno Mars and you know, Uptown Funk and all this shit that we were doing with Daft Punk. Before we were doing the disco thing again, this song came out, this remix came out, and it blew my mind. And it's so good, and for some reason, that's what I'm just picturing
And that's fine.
her dancing to.
And that's great. A+. Would put it in.
Yeah.
Still don't have a director attached, though. Who can handle all of this?
Michelle Gondry?
What is she? I'm really...
No, that's French. It's a boy, Michelle. That's Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Oh, I would rather not.
It'd be a very different. It'd be a very twee film.
Yes, it would be a very twee film, shall we say? Who can handle singing and dancing, plot twists in space?
Right.
It's got a little bit of everything.
But also the comedy aspect of it.
Comedy aspect. Part of me is Paul Thomas Anderson probably could handle all of this shit, and it would turn out
I don't think he's
weirder.
ever gone to space.
I don't think so either, and I think this might be what he needs to do.
See, that I feel like maybe we should have picked a director earlier because
That
having this
changes
be
everything.
it changes everything.
Oh. Well, we said it earlier, Greta Gerwig.
It could be Greta Gerwig.
She's very good at directing comedy. A lot of
it would
Little Women
also
is very
it
funny.
would also change the film, but I think in ways that could be really interesting.
Because, like, it starts out very Step Brothers-y, right?
Right.
Do we want to go with, like, a Lord and Miller? We could do that.
Oh, Lord and Miller actually would be great.
Yeah, because they've done the space with the Lego movie.
Sure.
And briefly with Star Wars.
And what a great comedic sensibility. I think you're right. I think Lord and Miller are the way to go on this.
Super.
Have you watched After Party yet?
Not yet, but it is on my list. I love
of fun.
My boy Benny Schwa.
Yeah.
Benny Schwa, Alana Glazer's there.
Yeah.
Who's
It's
now
got
doing
everyone.
Amazon ads, which I feel some kind of way about.
Everyone's got to get a paycheck.
They do. They really do. We've been doing this for almost an hour. Do you want to do a lightning round?
Sure. What's the
Okay.
lightning round?
Okay, lightning round is I give you a word, you get 2 sentences to pitch
Oh,
me a
okay,
movie.
okay.
Center. First thought, best thought. Cannot emphasize this enough. I do not edit this podcast.
God, I know. It's just so dumb. It's so obvious, but it's, you know, and it's just a ripoff of that other movie. They go to the center of the earth.
Okay.
Can
I give you
please,
my flavor?
please.
Journey to the Center of the Tootsie Pop.
Okay.
It's about
okay.
ants that
See,
are trying
that's
to get
so
into the
much
center
better.
of the Tootsie Pop.
God, that's so good. Okay, I'm gonna be better on the next one.
It's okay. And then generally I do one, but since I kind of stomped all over. This is Peel. What is Peel about?
Okay, Peel with
P-E-E-L.
P-E-E-L. So Peel is about
Okay. Loving this smile.
It's a sort of like a Jane Goodall type, like an ape scientist, sociologist.
Yeah.
Who falls in love with their subject
with an ape.
With an ape, and they bond over eating bananas, of course.
Of course.
And then it's like, you peel me like a banana. It's like a 50 Shades of Grey. Like it gets steamy.
But it's with like an orangutan.
But yes.
Oh no, Scott. Heard it here, folks. So instead of doing it back and forth, I'm gonna give my alt on Peel.
Okay,
which
please.
is so different. Which is a person has a hangnail and slowly it just unravels their entire skin over the course of a few days, and it's a metaphor for some sort of psychological trauma.
Yeah.
Blumhouse, clearly.
Right.
Freighter. I hardly know her. Freighter is the word.
Freighter is definitely a Lucy Hale vehicle.
Okay.
And she and some other people are all get this mysterious invitation to come to this, expo kind of thing. They show up, they're the only ones there. It's a sort of Saw style mind game horror film. Mm-hmm. This is because you were just about Blumhouse, but
that's fine.
And yeah, they all get stuck on some sort of freight train, and then there's people die. They gotta escape. Lucy Hale survives, of course.
Like it.
Maybe it turns out Lucy Hale's in on it the whole time.
I think that's a great third act twist.
Yeah.
Mine's about a guy who's on a boat. He's a captain. He's a freighter captain, and it's just like a little drama about like how he misses his family and how hard it is on the sea, and that's just really what it all is.
What if it's about the freight boat that got stuck in the Suez Canal?
I like that a lot, and it's like a 127 hours.
Oh yeah,
style.
Just stuck, trying to turn it.
Utter. Utter.
Uttr, which is not a cow udder.
No, it's like to utter.
To utter, right. I think it could be something about a like a shock jock radio guy who's a troll, right? And he's spreading this vile shit, and then he gets a curse put on him where like every day he can say like fewer words or something,
like the Eddie Murphy
it's
film,
kind of like
1,000 words,
right?
But I like it a lot. It's so good.
And he has to learn to be more careful with the words he utters.
I see. I have a similar like curse thing, which is that a person learns everyone has a secret name, and once you learn that secret name, you have control over them. This is like an old fable, thing that is in like Nordic and Celtic mythology. And so this person starts figuring it out and starts like essentially a mob to commit crime for these people. So with these people in mind, and then eventually it turns out there's a rival gang of vampires, and then they all die.
Okay.
Yeah, I had to end it somehow.
Yeah.
Researcher.
Okay. Jake Gyllenhaal.
Okay, I'm with you.
And some unnamed young brunette actress with bangs. Like currently it's Daisy Edgar Jones, but by the time this film gets made, there'll be another one. She becomes like,
because if there's one thing Hollywood's good at, it's replacing
pumping
women.
pumping out brunettes with bangs and brown eyes. So she's like a grad student and becomes like the research assistant for Jake Gyllenhaal, who's this, cool professor, and
of course
then it becomes a sort of psychological thriller. He's gaslighting her, he's manipulating her, or is he? There's something with the research that they're doing. Maybe it's into like
Like some sort of
psychotic drug or something, you know.
So you read that article about the woman that worked at the Public, is what you're saying?
Oh. No, I just even outside of, you know, he's just got that vibe. Yeah,
he does, and apparently for good reason.
Right.
So my film, based off of a researcher, is there's this kind of Jane Goodall type that falls in love with an ape. No, this is So there's a missing flight.
Oh.
And they've already had one search party go out. And this is the second one to try and find the searcher, and they're researchers, you see.
Oh, they're researching, right?
Let's get one last good one, and it was jelly. What the fuck are you gonna do with jelly? And then we must be going.
Well, I mean, look, the obvious one, I think, is like, it's the exact plot of The Meg. You remember The Meg?
Nope. I'm sorry to this film. I have not seen it.
The Meg is one where there's a really big shark. The Megalodon, I believe it's called. And they're in some sort of underwater research lab.
Oh, I see.
And then there's a big-ass shark. But in this one, it's a big-ass jellyfish.
Hell yeah. Did you know that they're not... They're barely an animal?
Jellyfish? Oh, yeah. They're
almost,
crazy.
They're almost plants. They're just neurons.
Yeah.
Like, they're nothing. They don't know what they're doing. It's phenomenal.
Why are they there?
Why are they there? My first instinct was a gritty origin story of Kris Kringle.
Right.
You know, and it's bowl full of jelly.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's how he becomes... It's like the Santa Claus, you know, with Tim Allen, only with murder, I think.
Sure.
This just sounds like a Robot Chicken sketch is what this sounds like. So let me think here for a second. Jelly... Okay, so it's about these two women in college. And one of them starts seeing someone that the other one likes. And it drives them so insane that they begin to, like, not murder the two people, but sleep murder other people in their lives. Right. And since they don't remember it, because they're asleep, they can't, like, turn themselves in, and it becomes this whole investigatory thing. And jelly, of course, is slang for jealousy.
Right. It could also be a sort of like Stepford Wivesy. What's the one where it's all in black and white? With Pleasantville, where everyone makes sandwiches with just peanut butter, and then one person dares.
That's so much better than
to put on jelly, and everyone's scandalized by this.
I fucking love that. That's great. And a movie that should be made. All right. Well, this has been a heck of a lot of fun.
This was a ton of fun.
Do you have anything else you want to say before we go?
I just want to say that if you haven't
seen Ambulance,
I was going to say Teen Beach Movie, pop on to Disney Plus and give yourself this treat.
Okay.
It's a 5 out of 5. Phenomenal film. It's a musical. It's a extremely nuanced lesson in feminism. It's got surfing. It's got greasers. It's got Barry Bostwick of Rocky Horror Picture Show fame. It's truly just a phenomenal piece of art.
Is it a Disney Channel original film? Or
it is.
Oh,
it is,
I did not. I assumed it was like not another beach movie.
No, it's a DCOM, from 2013.
DCOM? I've never heard that.
Oh yeah, that's what they call them, Disney Channel original movies.
That's fantastic. You learn something new every day. Have you ever caught yourself saying VHS player instead of VCR?
I haven't, because it's a real pet peeve of mine when other people say it.
Doesn't that suck though? Like that we're just so far removed from VCR.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I saw something recently that was like a period film, and the actor in it, like the character, says VHS player, and I was like,
no,
they would have never said that.
I'm out.
I can't remember what that was, but
yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much for doing this.
Oh, thank you.
It was so much fun. I love to have fun and to play games with friends. So that's where I'm at in my life.